People ask me, if I could only hunt one animal for the rest of my life, what would it be? My answer is always the same: elk. That's because elk have taught me more about who I am than any other creature. And let me tell you, many of those lessons are humbling. I'm Stephen Rinella. To me, hunting isn't only about the pursuit of an animal. It's about who we are and what we're made of. I live to hunt and hunt to live. I am a meat eater. The Gila National Forest is huge and beautiful. It feels and smells like the essence of the American Southwest: sun, sage, and cedar. With over 3 million acres, the Gila contains more publicly owned land than any other national forest outside of Alaska. I start my hunt on a long butte that spills down in a series of gentle canyons and parklands. Below this, the parklands break into a series of red rock canyons that drop sharply. This is prime country for exploration.
Something called a permit draw hunt, which means more people want to hunt this area than the area can support. They do a lottery drawing, and you either win the tag or you don't. I've been putting in for this tag for 4 years, and I finally drew it. The first time I'm seeing this area is right now. I've got friends who've hunted it, and they shared with me some GPS waypoints, a couple tips, but other than that, I'm going blind.
My first task is to simply get a lay of the land. I'm sitting on the east side of a tabletop plateau, glassing across a large drainage of parklands and canyons.
There's also enough timber to hide a whole army of elk in here. We got a couple of elk way, way over there, but they're a million miles away. All these elk are just getting blown out by the sun. It makes for such a quality experience that you can come out into an area you've never been, look at some maps, figure out a good place to sit, and the sun comes up and you start spotting elk. It's kind of incredible. I've been sitting here a little over an hour. I'm gonna bumble on this ridge and try to glass from the next knob out. And the way I'm gonna hunt this is just carry my gear on my back, so I can kind of go and then just sleep wherever I want to sleep as I hunt.
I walk out along a long ridge to start developing my sense of the place. My eyes are covering both the near and distant ground. My ears are open. I do not expect much rutting action, but I would not complain if I heard a bugle. I'm struck by the amount of country that's available to me here. It's big and empty, and there's a chance I'm the only hunter around for miles. I spend the day hiking and looking, and when I identify a perfect nighttime glassing tit, I steadily make my way in that direction.
Mold and shredding brush. This was a little while ago though. It's dried out now. God, this is beautiful, man. There's gotta be so many elk in here. Smell elk. There's a bull right down there. There's a bigger bull. It's a small 6-point. And there's a cow in there. She's in the timber right below that bull. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. It's an encouraging sign that that bull's working that cow, because I wasn't sure if there's still some rut activity or not. It's so quiet, there's no bugling. There kind of should be. If you find cows look out across the landscape and you realize there are dozens of very similar shaded pockets. This kind of a conundrum I'm in because, you know, I've been trying to draw one of these tags for 4 years, which isn't a short amount of time. And it's my first day on, and I got a bull down here in front of me. And if this bull was to give me a shot and I was to take it, I'd be like, done on my first day. Big way, I wanted to just sit and watch some elk and see what happens and who else is running around down here. It might come down to my last day, and I'll be like begging for this bull to come back. But right now, I just feel like it's perfect weather. It's like a beautiful place, and I just have a sense that if I keep going, exciting things are gonna happen.
Having to pass up an animal in order to hunt more shouldn't be such a stressful problem to have, but somehow it really is. I chose to walk away from a decent bull in a freezer full of meat with no guarantee that I'll have another chance. It leaves a haunting question in my head. Should I have taken that shot? But I'm gonna do my best to ignore it. It's clear I'm not ready to go home yet. It's getting late in the day. I see a nearby glassing knob that'll be perfect for the night watch. I get there in a hurry.
This is a gorgeous spot. Probably the best glassing point that I've been. I can just see everything from up here. Man, I'm looking at 2 bulls right now on that far mountain. Yeah, these elk are so far away. All these things are. Being a limited draw hunt makes it so different. Like normally, public land, over the counter, kind of hunting for elk. If you sat up and saw an elk, you'd be like jump out of your skin to go over there and chase after him. It's just amazing to be able to sit here and check this out. When I was a kid, I used to look at hunting magazines, and the staple is some dude, the iconic Western image, you know, guys sitting there glassing out these expanses. And I grew up in West Michigan. The farthest you'd see something would be across the cut cornfield. And I was always like, man, I'd love to do that someday. Now, getting to sit here doing it, you wind up thinking stuff like, oh, it's too far away, or oh, I'm hot or cold, feet hurt, pack's heavy. And you gotta remind yourself, like, dude, you're sitting up glassing a bunch of elk, man. I think right now that's gonna be the winning direction if something else doesn't happen. I'm gonna get up, reassess in the morning, and I'll just be sitting right here, right at daybreak.
Here I'm treated to something we all appreciate, but that rarely makes our hunting stories. We talk of hard stalks, failed shots, big successes, but rarely do we go home and say, you know what? There was an incredible sunset that lit up in colors I never knew existed, and it made my hunt a million times better. We don't usually say that, but maybe sometimes we should. I go to bed fully immersed in the hunt and excited for the morning.
There's an elk. It's on the other side of a canyon. I have no idea what that canyon looks like. I mean, that thing could be a bottomless pit. And the hill's freaking loaded with elk, man.
I've now seen the same two blonde-looking bulls on the same chunk of mountain, both last night and this morning. It's not a huge hike to get there, probably about 4 miles. But there's one, if not two, canyons between me and those bulls. In this country, you just never know how much of a challenge that's gonna bring. Luckily, the main canyon is passable, and I'm able to bypass the other canyon entirely.
I'm gonna drop camp gear here. If I do kill a bull up there, that way I'll have more room in my pack and I can bring a bunch down.
I'm gonna hike right up into the zone of those two bulls. I'll have to be careful and play things right, but at this point, it's my best bet.
These elk in the evenings and mornings have been on this face above me. My only chance, really, is that they're gonna get out and feed back onto this face. This is all between 300 and 400 yards shooting distance. I'm waiting here all day for the evening to come. I'm getting ready to get nervous. I mean, I got 2 hours shooting light left. Oh, there's a small bull feeding his way out now. The spike on it. Doggone. I don't think that's a legal bull. But yesterday there was 2 bulls. One was a big-ish and one was small.
It's a spike horn up top, but with brow tines below. To be legal, those brow tines need to be 6 inches long.
Where's your buddy?
Judging that from more than an arm's reach distance is not a gamble I'm willing to take.
All this morning, I watched these elk for an hour, and those 2 were like nuts on a dog. They were just hanging out together. I can't believe that bull is not here. Come on. I can't handle the suspense. Where is that bull? Oh, shoot. I don't know if that spike somehow did something weird and passed through. I just looked up, and all of a sudden I saw a bull coming down that slope. It dropped out of view. I hope that was just that spike screwing around, but now I can't see where he went. That thing came out of nowhere.
By now, I've got a lot invested in finding this bull. I'm gonna drop off the mountain and crash for a few hours, with the intention of being right back here well before daybreak. I'm back in the same spot first thing in the morning.
I've been sitting since daylight, and no elk. One mule deer fawn.
And nothing happens for hours. I'm not exactly sure what to do. What comes to mind is the bull I passed on the first day might still be there. Even though I'm 5 miles away, I move in his direction.
The Gila National Forest is killing me. I mean, this is an awesome place. I've heard people criticize public lands like national forest. Oh, the government owns all this land, no one uses it. People that do use it, though, I mean, there's such a value just to the existence. You have to have places where you can come and just get burned out. The backcountry.
I spend the rest of the morning scouring this mountain, and eventually I follow a canyon back toward my original mesa.
This morning I was up in the middle of that shadow and walked clear over here. That opportunity I had on that first day, man, it just seemed like too early. Like felt like I earned the moment. I'm really struggling with the fact that I had that, I had that bull down here and didn't shoot. Oh, God. People talk about going hunting to relax or something. Man, I go home to relax. Hunting kills me. Especially in a place like this.
It's my last day. I'm just trying to clear my head and hunt hard. At this point, there's nothing else to do.
It's gonna be kind of last-ditch effort. I'm going up to hopefully a good glassing point in an area I haven't been to. That's nice. The wind's good. Oh, there's an elk. He's eye level at 400 yards in front of a juniper, like a brown block. There's another bull right behind him. I can't shoot because there's two bulls lined up. Doggone it. You gotta be kidding me. Those bulls were lined up. Then the one that was in the open left. They're fighting. I think I shot over him. But I think I screwed that up. I misjudged and shot right over his back. Yeah. All that. You gotta be kidding me, man.
I take 30 minutes and scour the area where the bulls stood. There's no blood. Nothing is out of place. I missed him clean.
Oh, man, the work. A mistake like that wasn't even one you're considering. Probably got excited and jumped the trigger. Like I didn't do my checklist, you know? Breathing, squeeze. Instead of being bummed that I missed, and I am, but I should be more glad that I didn't wound that animal.
Bummed and embarrassed. And not embarrassed by how I looked to others, but embarrassed by how I looked to me. about how I could still make simple mistakes after all these years. Sometimes it seems that accumulating hunting knowledge is like trying to put lightning bugs in a jar. For every new thing you cram in, one of the old things gets away. This is especially true for hunting elk. It exposes your shortcomings, the things you forgot, and the things you still haven't learned. That speaks to why I'll never quit hunting these things. And I suppose that speaks to why I will never quit.